So, Liz, we have been waiting for this for a while. I think this was announced in our first or second year here at Culture Wave. Your most beloved franchise of all time, Harry Potter, is being adapted into a television series where every single season is going to be one of the books. Now, it's been a very hyped about production. It's a very expensive production. I believe the show is going to cost somewhere close to $200 million a season. And we got our first look at what the show is going to be. So the first season is going to be Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. I believe that's what it is. So we got our first look at all the iconic characters that we know from the film series that are now transitioned into these television characters. A lot of the characters we know and love with all the new castings. We got to see the new Harry, Hermione, and Ron. We got to see Nick Frost as Hagrid. We got to see the professors. So as one of the biggest Harry Potter fans that I personally know, what are your first thoughts on the first look of what season 1 of the Harry Potter HBO series is going to look like? It's going to premiere on Christmas Day, I believe, 2026.
It's hard being such a fan and truly I binge watch them every holiday season. My sister and I and my husband now just binge all of the films. So I'm a big fan. I've read all the books. I'm very torn because I want to give it a chance and I want to support it because I love it so much, but I'm worried. I'm really worried of just the magic not being there that the films have. And I think either way, it's going to get hate. I think if they stick too close to the original films, then people are going to say that you were just completely remaking them and there's no need for this. But then if they start branching out and kind of making it different than the films, then people are going to be ripping it apart because they're saying you're changing it. You're not sticking to the original source, which actually the original source is the book, not the film. So I think it's just going to get very messy and I'm worried and I don't want the world of Harry Potter to get hate, but I just don't know. The trailer didn't sell me completely.
It's pretty divisive online, I would say. I have one quick question and then I'll give my thoughts.
Okay.
Do you believe, because you already are going into this being it's going to be messy, do you believe, gun to head response, do you believe that this goes all intended 8 seasons? I believe it's 8, right? 8 books? Or are there 9 books?
It's 8. And yes, I think so.
So you think no matter what, they're committed, this is happening, no matter what, they're going full 8 seasons?
I think so because, like I said, it could be horrible and I'm still going to watch it just because I love the world and I want to know because, okay. And the first 2 films I think are going to be really tough in the first 2 books because the films match the books almost to a T because they're shorter books. But then as you get later on into the series book wise, especially once you get past Goblet of Fire is really when things start to get very heavy in the text, and then the films had to cut a lot out. So I think that the later seasons are going to be very, very interesting because there's going to be elements that the films weren't able to include. But I'm worried for the first 2 seasons because I just don't even know if there's necessarily enough without dragging it out to make it full seasons. But I mean, yeah, I think the later seasons will be good, but I'm just worried for the first 1 and 2.
Yeah. All right. So I'm a newer Harry Potter fan. I saw these films for the first time, 2 years ago?
Yeah,
I feel
which is crazy to me.
I know. But I got nothing spoiled also leading into it, which is awesome.
Again, crazy.
I knew nothing about it. It was just a whole thing that surpassed my movie going experience. I think that around the time that it was when I was younger and they came out, I guess 2002, I believe was the first one. I feel I was very much into, I was a big professional wrestling fan. It was that's really what I was into. I wasn't even super into movies at that point. And then by the time I started to mature, it's I kind of dove into the Marvel side of things. So it was it was a whole fan base I missed out on. And I never read the books, which is another big part of it, obviously. And I still haven't read the books to this day. So coming at it from the perspective of being a newer Harry Potter fan, loving the world that you and my girlfriend Trisha have introduced me to.
What did you think?
I love the franchise. Now, again, I haven't read the book, so I can't give the context of what the text is. But I think that we've talked about this a lot, not you and I, but I know on the channel I've talked about this a lot, especially with Mark Jacobino, that certain seasons of TV are not always intended or needed to have like 10 episode seasons. If this show is like, as you say, where like the first movie, which is like probably around 2 hours, maybe it's more than that, is basically sticking to the text entirely. If they decide to do like 4 episodes for a season 1, that's like full hour TV where like you're getting a little bit of the additional stuff, and then season 2, maybe you do 4 or 5 episodes. And as the series builds, you start to kind of do more because you're still dealing with a lot of kids in this too. So you also have to be careful of like the logistical aspects of like they can't be on set all day and night all the time. You know, there's like legal issues with that. So I think that if they can handle it in that way, I'm very curious to see how they will be able to expand the story. And that's what I'm kind of intrigued by. What I'm nervous about is not the magic of the series, but again, the like overwhelming pressure to live up to what is so at top of mind for people and is so attached. Like Daniel Radcliffe is still looked at as a little boy in some people's eyes because of the way he was as Harry Potter.
Mm-hmm.
And so these kids have a lot to live up to, and these legacy characters that like people like Nick Frost and Janet McTeer and who else is in the cast of the older cast? John Lithgow. We have, who is it that Papa Essedu is playing Snape? There's also like all the characters. Belle Powley is in this as Petunia Dursley. Like these are actors now and characters that we're gonna be, for the lack of a better term, stuck with for 8 years and more going forward in their lives. And so that's the big thing to me, because Rings of Power is like the only example I could probably provide, but like that show has been torn apart over the years for like the comparisons to the films of Lord of the Rings and sticking to certain things that Tolkien has done. So I'm nervous. Yeah. I'm definitely nervous. I didn't feel as strongly, I feel like, on a negative side that it didn't have the magic, because to me, I kind of still felt, okay, like I'm excited to see this, but I think it's because I'm not as attached to the characters because I didn't have them throughout the time they were being released year by year.
Yeah, and like it's gonna come down to small details for the big fans, because even this is so nitpicky and like
hit us with it, Liz.
But like
let's see the fandom, girl.
Like the last part where Ron, the little boy that like the Ron character, when he finds out it's Harry Potter, he does like mind blown. I don't want to do that. I want to hear the original like wicked and him say that. And that's just me being really nitpicky and wanting to see like the original content and not seeing like this new version. But maybe I'm just old and I want my old versions, and I'm not willing to. We just want original stories. That's all you want. Original stories, and I don't want things that don't need to be remade. But I don't know. I think that's really going to be the hard part of people wanting to see just the original, but then also these poor kids having to also make it their own. They are going against the stream right now, and I hope that people don't rip them apart. I do hope that people can give it a chance and find other things, and I'm also telling that to myself, because I am going to be a little disappointed if some of my favorite lines or like moments aren't in it to a T.
Yeah, but you're still going to be seated week by week.
But I'm still going to watch it, and like that's what I think people should do. If you're a fan of the series, you should give that the attention that it deserves, and just don't be mean to these poor children.
Don't be mean to the kids, everybody.
Be mean to the creators.
Last question. This is again, we don't have any details, I don't think, on this. Your preference, Liz. Mm-hmm. Would you rather, because this is a very different thing conceptually that they're doing, converting it from a film series to a TV series, with each season serving one of the books, right? Would you rather HBO, which they have not done with a lot of things, drop the whole season at once to watch? Or would you rather see how this story would unfold in a weekly episodic format, which HBO has been known to do for decades now, with how they decide to kind of tell these stories?
I want it dropped all at once.
I think you're going to be disappointed.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think only episodes.
They have to milk it also for viewership.
But that only works if like you don't know what happens.
Yeah.
We know what happens. We all know what happens, and then like also that only works because then they leave cliffhangers at every episode. What are they going to cliffhang for every single episode? We know what happens.
Yeah.
And I think that it would be better if people can just feel the entire world and scope of the show if they were to drop it, because people want to binge Harry Potter. They don't want to wait because we know what happens.
And there's not going to be new viewers. Like, this show is not going to attract a whole new audience of Harry Potter.
Until they hear what people are talking about. If people like it, then they might get new viewers. But I think that the first round of wave is going to be people that know this story already. And like, yeah, I don't want to wait a week to watch just what
Something
I already know that's coming.
Yeah, I get that. Well, let us know in the comments. Are you guys excited for Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone coming to HBO? Are you guys on board with it? Did you like what they showed in the trailer? Do you like the changes that they've made so far and things like that? Or are you guys vehemently against this whole idea and concept in general? Please let us know in the comments. We'd love to have a conversation with you guys, and thank you for watching.